And I believe you have fundraiser tickets here as well. Okay, so 400 is okay.
I missed this table.
Oh,
well, yeah, we haven't
let's
seen
keep
it.
the helmet going. I guess there's more people that do get it. Our next presentation is in the area of drag racing. So I'll ask Keith Warren to make the next presentation.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce my nomination for 2009. Richard Johnston got the racing bug in 1963 with his brother Jim's 55 Chev at Mission Raceway. Over the next 4 decades, he progressed to one of the most proficient NHRA Division 6 superstock and stock car racers. He was probably best known for his multiple record-holding 265 power 56 Chev that he toured most of the West Coast tracks and the NHRA national events with over 30 years ago. Rick was an accomplished, self-taught machinist who was respected as a thinker and an out-of-the-box innovator. Leader in advancing the performance levels of his race cars, he was unfailingly modest and always willing to share his knowledge and help with other racers and competitors. The development of the high stall converter with a trans brake and the delay box were Rick's ideas that he developed with the help of others in California, and they both became widely used in drag racing today. Richard was diagnosed with brain cancer in 2000. With the help of his friends and family, survived brain surgery. After recovering and meeting his new wife, Dee Sinkler, the cancer returned in 2003, and after a second operation, Richard built and returned to racing his popular wheel-standing 85 Olds Cutlass. Richard hung up his helmet after a third bout of cancer in 2006. Sadly, he passed away in January of this year. There's a write-up of his many accomplishments on page 17 of the 2009 yearbook, and a poster board displaying many of his cars and records beside me. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please join me in welcoming Richard Johnston as our newest member of the Greater Vancouver Motorsport Pioneers Society. His wife, Dee Sinkler, is accepting his marriage.
Thank you, Keith, and to all of you responsible for making this wonderful tribute to Rick become a reality today. Although Rick, also known as RJ, is not here with us to accept this great honor in the physical sense, I know that he's here in spirit and would humbly accept his place in this Hall of Fame with that huge smile that he was so well known for. I speak for myself as his wife and crew chief for only 5 of the more than 40 years that he was involved in drag racing, and for both of our families in expressing that we could never be any prouder of Rick than we are here today in honor of his memory. Being bestowed this award of distinction after making his final pass down the track means a great deal to those who loved and respected Rick as a friend, as a dedicated drag racer, and as a highly esteemed engine builder. But especially to those who knew him as a loving husband, father, brother, uncle, nephew, cousin, grandpa, and family friend. Rick had a king-size passion for cars, and of course for drag racing, since he was a young teenager. He was always well known for taking the time out to help his friends and others, racers, be the best that they could be at the track, even as his competitors. Rick was a dynamic yet unassuming man with a solid set of values that made him stand out as someone special. He earned the friendship and the respect of many people over the years for his innovative ideas, his often unorthodox means of making a car go just that little bit faster, and above all, by being a man that could be trusted. People who met him outside of the racing circle seldom knew this side of Rick, of his love for the sport, of his many accomplishments, and the countless records he set. Most were stunned to find these things out about him because he never talked about his lifelong passion of his own accord. To talk about himself would have been considered bragging, and Rick was never a man to brag. Modesty was this man's middle name. Though a fierce competitor on the track, Rick was always a true gentleman and a good, solid man, a man with a firm set of principles that he never failed to live his life by. He has been a hero to me and of many others in so many ways. Even in taking his leave of this world for a better one, void of sickness and pain, he held his head high and smiled right to the very end. I know Rick would have accepted this great honor today with immense pride and with the decorum that he demonstrated every day in his journey through life. I accept this award with my heartfelt gratitude, and I thank you on Rick's behalf.
Let's just get one up here on 3, okay? 1, 2, 3. Excellent, I think.